Good day, friends. Welcome to another interesting time on Amogate Radio Communications. We have been talking about the entrepreneurship and the Nigerian youth, and today is the third episode of the program. My name is Adiola Gbadebo. I remain your host. Last week, we spoke about how to start a business in Nigeria, and I was able to take us through the various steps that we need to do in order to launch our business. I will be concluding that today before we go into another, and we will just conclude on that because I did say I was going to conclude this so we can say that starting a business too, and then we'll go to the business of today. So last time we spoke about pensions and insurance for businesses. I just want to continue from there where we now talk about regulatory compliance. I did say there are businesses that have regulatory and licenses that have to be obtained before you can run that business or before you can take the business to another level. We'll ensure that you find out all the necessary compliance which are industry specific and the regulations and the standards that are required of that business so you can take your business to that level. Every certification and licenses that is compulsory or recommended to by the regulatory bodies must be obtained also. Another thing you need to do is to ensure that you file your annual returns. Recently, the Corporate Affairs Commission decided to go to be strict on filing of annual returns, and they gave a timeline within which all companies that have not filed their returns in a number of years should do so or risk being delisted. If you're delisted from the Corporate Affairs Commission, it means that your company legally does not exist anymore, and you'll be unable to use the name of that company that you have been using to run your business. We also need to find out, when we talk about funding options, which I spoke about earlier, personal savings, family and friends, can take their bank loans. There are, grants that you can apply for. There are also angel investors. Angel investors are people who become interested because they can see value that's going to be delivered through the line of your business, and they will decide to invest in that. There are also venture capitalists who have the money and they're always around looking for places where they can put in their money for profit making. I always recommend that these steps, especially when you're talking about the angel investors, venture capitalists, and bank loans, that you allow it to get to a place where your business is about to expand. Use it for expansion purposes, not at the initial stage of starting the business. The initial stage, you can use your personal savings, your friends and families, and you can get government grants also for that purpose. But like I said, your books must be up to task, up to date rather, so for you to be able to enjoy some grants. So you are exploring government initiatives that provide grants and support for startups. Some of the examples of these grants are like the UWIN, the Youth Enterprise and Innovation in Nigeria program of the and that of the Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture. They all provide such grants, and some of them provide single-digit loans for businesses. There's a crowdfunding option also. If you there are a lot of crowdfunding platforms to raise funds from a large number of people, like the GoFundMe, If you have a noble cause, a noble business that you are trying to raise funds from a lot of people, you've got to push it out, do a lot of orientation about it, do a lot of talking, do a lot of grant interviews and all that. And then when you start that, people already are aware and they are looking at. So a large number of people will drop little sums of money, which can add up for you to start that business. I also, this mostly works for NGOs and all these other service-oriented organizations that serve the general public. And so that's some of the ways by which we can raise funds. There are also business incubators and accelerators. They provide funding, they provide mentorship, and other resources that you may need. These are programs that help startups grow and succeed. Now, there are certain sectors or business lines that you need someone to guide you in that area. You need a mentor in that area. Sometimes you may have worked in the sector for a very long time. You may still not know how the sector works. You may need someone to open your eyes. And one of those places is the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. You may have worked in an oil company for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And that does not actually mean that you'll be able to you'll be able to float an oil company. So that's why you need sometimes for mentoring. And there are people who have taught in schools and they think that by virtue of being a good teacher, they could start up their own schools. So they can work in a school for 5 years and before you know it, they're starting their own schools. It's actually more than that. You need organizations, you need people who are able to mentor you and help you to direct you to the places where you can put in your money. So thank you very much for that. So basically, let's go to today's business, which is business planning and strategy for the Nigerian youth. When you want to start your business, you say, how do you start? What are you supposed to do? What are the strategies that you can adopt? So we want to go into some of those things that we need to do. So you have to create a winning business plan. You have to create a winning business plan. What does a winning business plan? I will break it down into its components. Firstly is the executive summary. Now, so the executive summary clearly states the business idea and its purpose. It talks about some abstracts also, which can become some form of analysis in that business line you are going, which may reveal the gap that you are trying to close in that area where you are trying to fit in. And so many of this, the executive summary will show the purpose, it will show the objectives, it will state your mission will be stated, and then so the key ways to success. So you are highlighting some critical factors that will ensure that the business succeeds. Now, another part of it is the business description. So you have what we call a company overview, which provides a detailed description of the business, its legal structure, the ownership. It talks about the organizational structure of that particular business, and a lot of this. It describes the totality of the business, the services, the point at which it will be running those services, products and service offering. You describe the products or services you will offer, and then you talk about one of the most important things, which is the value proposition. The value proposition explains what makes your product or service unique and why customers will choose you over competitors. I call it your unique selling proposition. Also, you can also call it the unique selling proposition. That is what are the things that you are doing differently. Because it is most likely that you are not going to be floating an entirely new line of business that nobody has done before. Most likely you are also going to be joining a sector. You're going to be starting your own business in a particular sector that's already existing, but the difference is in your value is what we call the value proposition. The difference in what you are offering. What is it that makes yours different? What would make it stand out in the market is what we call the value proposition. We've always said it, and we cannot be overflogged that you need to conduct your market analysis. You need to research and analyze the industry landscape, the trends and the growth opportunities. And there are available data, a lot of data. I actually recommend that, a line of training that I think every new or young entrepreneur should study, which is data analytics. Go and study data analytics. If you cannot have the time to study it, engage one or subscribe to one who will be able to use the data that is available in that related to your business line. You can use that data to do a lot of things. One is to prescribe solutions for noticeable challenges. Maybe we should start with diagnostic analysis, which will give you what is wrong, show you different things that is wrong in the sector, and then we have a prescriptive analysis that will now prescribe solutions to some of those things. And then you can have what we call a preventive analysis, which is going to help you prevent those things happening, so you can mitigate against those challenges. And then you also have things that analysis that will help you in the future, in the future that you can use to now show, because that will reveal trends. It will take care of the trends, it will take care of what is happening. If history has been repeating itself, it will show you the cycles of repetitions that you have. So sometimes they tell you maybe every 10 years something happens in this sector, and you'll be able to understand why those things happen and can help you prepare for the next time and take advantage of the opportunities that those happenings will present. So you must also do your marketing and sales strategy very well. Like we said, stop winking in the dark. If you are winking in the dark, you are the only one who knows what you are doing. Nobody else knows. We must blow our trumpet and look for ways to push out information about the business that you are and the services that you are offering. You must look for how to put out information there. Outline your marketing strategy, including the branding. Create a niche for yourself in the market. Do a brand assessment. Come out with your positioning statements. Come out with your unique, the brand identity. Have a good logo. That will define your vision statement. Make it clear. Your mission statement, make it clear, and look for ways that your brand positioning statements can become a household statements on the lips of people that are around, so that your organization can become a special brand. Now, if you are going to do jingles and all that, be very creative in the use of those jingles and all that. Sometimes, it's so funny that the way the human brain works is that you can indoctrinate people. People can be brainwashed and all that. Let me give you an example. Now, if you're driving on the driveway on the road, and you see a billboard that is being put up, there's nothing on it, but there's a color on it, and all the colors on it is painted yellow. You are most likely to think about MTN at that time, because MTN did not only use the color yellow as their brand colors, some of their brand colors. They also have been able to have probably, let me say, colonize the word hello by putting yellow as their own way of saying hello. So You hear people saying hello. And so if you see something like that, you begin to think about MTN. And it can also trigger you to check the balance of your MTN line. And that can instigate you, buying airtime or data, as the case may be. So you see, these are some of the things that we can do, and push out to the people that can help our brand become a household name in the mouth of the people. There is a popular brand in the market. If I make the sound now, everybody knows. I don't even need to mention the name. If you hear the sound, pam param, pam param, pam param param, and that's all that is there. Everybody knows that it is Indomie noodles. Indomie is not the only noodles in fact. In fact, the Indomie world has become so much of a household name that every other noodle is called Indomie. So in Nigeria, if you go somewhere maybe to buy noodles, all you need to say is, I want to buy Indomie. And they'll give you the different types of noodles. If it is Indomie noodles that you want to buy and it's not there, you are most likely to say, no, I'm talking about the real Indomie. That's how it's done. The same thing with gala. Everybody, that sausage, everybody calls it gala. They say, so they will now say, I want this brand of gala, this other brand of gala. Actually, gala is a brand name. So that's about branding. Do some advertising and promotional activities. I remember when MTN came, they did what we call a bug of buy one get one free and all that, in order to push their own brand and their services to the average Nigerian. We're still on Amogate Radio Communications, and we'll be talking about entrepreneurship and the Nigerian youth. This is the third episode in the series, and this episode we've been talking about the business planning and strategy for the Nigerian youth. What is the business strategy, planning and strategy all about? It's about the steps and the things that you will need to consider, put together in being able to put your business together. And one of the things that we've said about is that you need to have you create a winning business plan, and then you must be able to on the business plan, we will have your executive summary, the business description, you have your market analysis, you have your marketing and sales strategy, you have your operational plan and workflow, the details, the day-to-day operations, processes, and workflows. We ask people to develop SOPs, standard operating procedures, which helps you to, everybody knows if an activity is supposed to happen, the steps involved in that activity, every step that the activity will go through before the results comes out at the end. For example, you want to enroll your child in a school. The schools that you want to enroll your child with should have their own standard operating procedures. Some of them you would have to purchase a form, and where you show of interest that you want your child to come to the school. And the next thing is that maybe you make some payment to test the child. They want to test the child to check the results of that child with the former results. The results in this new test, they want to compare to say, okay, indeed you have said this child is you want him to be in basic 4, but when we tested him, we found out that it will be better we place him in basic 3 for now and all that. So they do the test. There are other things that you need to go through. Maybe you will get a brochure. They will send you a letter of admission, and then on the letter of admission, there's an acceptance form that you have to fill. When you fill the acceptance form, you go and submit the acceptance form. You will probably be asked to pay an acceptance fee. After that, they give you to show that you are not only saying this, you have committed funds to the school for that child, and then they provide other, they go through other different steps that can help in the registration and help the child to indeed have a smooth time transitioning into that school. So these are some of the things that is an example of an SOP. The different schools have their different SOPs. They have their different standard operating procedures. Different organizations have different, even though they play in the same sector, there are standard operating procedures differ, and these are things that the business owner has deliberately put in place to ensure that people do the right things. If you assume that people know what to do, you will be shocked at the level that they do not know. So you are deliberately conditioning the processes and procedures and the discussions that should happen within that organization when you create standard operating procedures. So under the operational plan, you still have the things like location, facilities. You describe the business location, the facilities or equipment needed, and all other resources that may be needed. You also need to talk about the technology, identify the technology or systems that will support your business operations. If you are selling online, if you have an online store and you are promoting some goods and services online, you may want to look for a payment gateway software or solution company that provides payment gateway to partner with them, maybe through your website. They do what we call an API integration into themselves, and they can provide you payment options online so that people can pick their goods and services, pick everything on your phone. You may have to create what we call an e-commerce website where you'll be able to put you may create a cart where all the things that you have picked can be dropped in a cart, and the total calculation, the website calculates the full thing, all the items that you have picked, tells you your total, and then if there's a delivery charge, it also tells you the delivery charge according to how far the distance that the organization is to your house. So there are a lot of things that comes into that. So I've already spoken about 2 or 3 technology that can be used now, and eventually, so that person that it sums this up for you, has the delivery charge, and then it shows you the total value. When you check out, it takes you to a payments place where you can either use your card or do a bank transfer through that through the what we call the payment gateway, which is a payment software that is added to your software, so that people can make payments for you. Even though you may have the option of pay on delivery, it is also good that you have that option of payments online, which is the payment gateway. Now, you need management and organization. I spoke about your organizational structure. Define the organizational structure, the roles and the responsibilities of the team. The roles and responsibilities of the team. Many organizations start off without creating a job description for the employees. I've worked with many organizations as a consultant, and when I get to there, sometimes, for example, schools call me and they say their schools is not doing as fine as it should and all that. And when we come in, we find out that the reasons why some of those schools are not doing that well is because of lack of organization, and they have not done the proper things. Like many schools don't give job description to their teachers. Teachers don't know what to do. So the teachers just assume that this is what I'm supposed to do. And because it's an assumption of one person, there will be different other options, different other various ways by which you can also teach and they can adopt. But the school should have one that they have adopted and will be communicated to all the teachers, so that, and the reason is that if you don't have a standard one that you use, it is not likely that all the students within that organization will be taught at the same standard, at the same level. So some will be able to grab it, others may not. So what you need to do is to get to create a standard job description for the people understand, so that everybody knows what they are supposed to do, and they also know where and how their job overlaps into one another. You need to pick up management team that have the qualification and experience to manage the organization. You may need advisors or consultants to identify external factors, to identify some external factors that may affect both external and internal factors that is affected and may not be able to see because of their own training, and they have that ability, that gift to be able to discern through things. They can also provide guidance for you. You need a financial plan also in order to do it, so that you can plan very well for that business, for your running costs, and know how much is your profit, and then you can at the end do well because you have already planned and you are working your plan. Thank you very much. I will stop here for today for this episode. I want to say thank you for listening to me once again. So for feedback and questions, you can send us a mail on contact@theamogate.org. contact@theamogate.org. You can also reach out to us on our WhatsApp number +234 810 999 6666. I'll take it again, +234 810 999 6666. To listen to previous episodes, you can check our show reel on MixLR-Amogate. Show reel at MixLR-Amogate. I want to invite you to join us to follow us on our social media platforms, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, all at the Amogate. This program airs every Thursday, 5 p.m. West African time and 11 a.m. Eastern time. Until I see you on the next episode, it's bye for now.